One of the exciting additions to Microsoft Fabric Unified Data Platform is the map item, which enables teams to visualize and analyze geospatial data directly within Fabric experience. Using the map item in Fabric, you can now visualize geospatial datasets such as GeoJSON, coordinates, and spatial layers. We can plot locations like cities, transport stations, schools, and assets. We can combine spatial insights with Lakehouse and Eventhouse data. And of course, we can perform analytics on geospatial data as part of our end-to-end data workflows. This new feature opens up many exciting possibilities for industries such as utilities and energy, logistics and supply chain, urban planning, and retail and customer analytics, among others. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to create fabric map item using London Underground stations and route geospatial datasets. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is to enable users can create maps in the admin portal as it is currently in preview. So I'm going to go to the settings and I'm going to click on admin portal under governance and administration. And I'm going to search in this filter by keyword. I'm going to type in maps and I can see users can create maps and it's currently in preview. So by default, it is turned off. So this has been turned on previously. So if you have not done this, just go ahead and toggle on this and click on apply at the bottom and wait for some couple of moments and you should be able to create the maps within your workspace easily. So once this has been sorted, I'm going to quickly just show you how the geospatial data set I'm going to be working with looks like. So I'm going to be working with London Underground and the routes. So let me just show you this JSON data. So basically we have this type as a feature collection and then we can see this contains a key value pairs, which is of course what we have in JSON. So I can see here this is Baker Street station and I can see this is London Underground transport and we can see this is in London and we have the name of the country as UK and we can see the coordinates here. So this is the record for the Oxford cycles and then when I go to the bottom we're going to be able to see the geometry which also include the coordinates and then we have the King's Cross, St. Pancras and so on and so forth. So this is how the London Underground station I'm going to be using looks like. So I'm going to close this for now and I want to go to my workspace. So I'm going to use this fabric maps. So in this case, I don't have any item. So we can of course, store our data in our lake house, which could be static data. We can also connect to data in the event house, which is going to be like a real-time data set if you want to see in real time of how things are going on the map. So I'm going to click on new item. And for this demonstration, I'm going to be creating a lake house. So I'm going to call this one Geo LH and I'm going to click on create at the bottom. Now the lakehouse is created. So I'm going to be storing my data in the file store of the lakehouse, not as tables. So I'm going to right click on this file store and use the upload functionality so I can upload files. So I'm going to click on that. So in my download, I can see I've got London Underground stations and I'm going to also select this London Underground routes. So I'm going to click on open and click on upload and then we have the two datasets uploaded to the file store of the lakehouse. So I can double click and I can see the two data. Absolutely easy. So I'm going to go back to the workspace and then I want to create the map item. So I'm going to search for map here, which is quite straightforward. And I'm just going to click on this. So again, this is currently in preview. Let's call this one London Underground map. And then I'm going to click on create. So this is going to automatically create the map and we can see this interface. So we have the Explorer on the left hand side and we can see we can connect data in our lake house. We can also connect data in our event house. So for this demonstration, I'm going to be using the lake house just to make it easier for us. So for now, we don't have any data sources. So we need to go ahead and add some data sources in order to be able to visualize on the map. So just to walk you through this interface, we have the home tab and then we can save. So you have to save your progress once you've created anything or you've modified your map. You have to save. You can also click on this to refresh. We can click on the settings to provide a name for the map. You can also give description. We can also endorse this item if you want to actually promote or you want to mark as certified based on business need. And then we can create new tile sets. We can click on this to see the recent runs and then we can modify the map by using this map settings. So I'm going to be showing you all of this as we go ahead. So basically we have two views. We have the editing view and then we have the viewing. So in the editing view, this is where we do the development work, and in the viewing, that's where we see the end product of the map. So we are currently in the editing. So let's go ahead and add data in the Lakehouse. So I'm going to click on add. And then since we've loaded our files, I can see the GeoLH, and I'm going to click on add. So we can see the lake house. So I'm going to expand and I want to go to the file store. So this is going to actually check for the file stores, not the table section of the lake house. So I'm going to double click and I can see the two files in it. So I'm just going to move this a bit so that I can see. So the extension is .geojson and we have the two data in it. So to create our map, it's quite straightforward. Let's go ahead and visualize this London Underground station first. So I'm just going to right click and I'm going to click on show map. So I'm just going to wait for some couple of moments and there we go. We have the London Underground stations displayed in this fabric map. Now I'm going to also proceed to add the London Underground route so that we can actually just walk through all the map settings and modification. So I'm going to double click and I can see the London Underground route. I'm going to right click and then click on show on map. Amazing. So we now have the London Underground station and London Underground route as the data layers. So we can, for example, click on this, and as soon as I click on it, this is now boldened, and we can interact with this section of the London Underground station. So on the right hand side, we can see the source as the GeoLH Lakehouse, and we can see the relative parts of the file store, which is files, and we can see the data, which is London Underground station.geojson. And then we can also do some things around the general settings. For instance, we can change the layer color. So I can change from this color to, let's say, something like gold, and then we can see data points change on the map. Quite easy. And then we can also play around with the zoom level. We can zoom from 1 to 23, and we can see how that's going on the map. So one of the stuff that I really love about this map is the ability to include tooltips. For example, when I over my mouse, I cannot tell which data point is this. So with the tooltip, we can actually understand this data point much better. So I'm going to come to this, select a property, and then we can select properties which include station, transport, city, and country, similar to what we had in the dataset I shown you. So for example, if I want to include the station, so I'm going to just toggle on this station, and when I over my mouse, I can see this is Notting Hill Gate station. Cool. So when I come to this point, I can say this is Hammersmith, and when I come to this point, this is Heathrow Terminals 2 and 3, which is very much on the far left. And then I can also check this Baker Street and so on and so forth. We can also include the transport, for example. So when I click on this, so this is going to show us the name of the station, and of course we have the London Underground as the transport, and then you can also include city or whichever data points you've got in your geospatial dataset, and that's cool. So I'm going to just close this for now, and then we also have things such as the data label settings. So you can turn this on, and of course if you have a data point that you want to visualize, you can actually see that based on your data labels, but in our case we don't have that. This is not applicable to our data set. So just to show you some of the possibilities, and then we have the data labels, things like the font weight and so on and so forth. So these are really cool stuff you can actually do. So I can also come back to this, just click on this, and I can also change for the London Underground route. Let's say I want to change the layer color to, let's say, this color. So it's going to change, and that is quite straightforward. So I'm going to close this for now. So now we can come to the map settings also. So in the map settings, we have the styling. So we can choose the map style and of course the date theme with intent. So this is the default anyway. This is the grayscale light and the default data theme. So let's say I want to see this in Terra map style. Just click on that, wait for some couple of moments, and there you go. So you can see the changes. That is really cool. We can also change the data theme from default to, for instance, classic, and then we can see how it looks like. We also have some other map style such as the satellite. So when I click on that, just wait for some couple of moments, and then we can see how it looks from the satellite view. And then we can also, for example, choose the hybrid, depending on which of the map style you intend to use. So we can also use the high contrast dark. which is a little bit, awesome. So we can see the Thames River, which flows across, and we can also use the zoom in. So there we go. So this allows you to zoom into the data points you intend to choose or you want to work with, and then you can also use this zoom out controls. I'm going to close this for now. So we also have all of this control on this top right hand corner here, which is quite straightforward. You can come to the map settings. You can also do them from here. Change the map style. For example, let's say I want to choose this. So this is going to work just like we've seen. And then we can do the zoom in and zoom out. So I love this functionality, this increased pitch. So this allows you to view it in a way that is really suitable for you. And then you can also decrease the pitch. And then we also have this rotation. So you can rotate, all right, as much as you like, and then you can put it back to whichever point that is suitable. So once you're done with all the changes you intend to make, so it's really important you click on the save button so they can save your progress. Otherwise, you're going to lose what you've done in this map. So once that is saved, we can, of course, say the ability to share this, so we can share with users in our organizations or a security group. Let's go back to the workspace. Let's check it out. I'm going to come here so we can see we have the on the ground map, and when I click on this, so we also have what we've seen not too long. So again, you can click on this refresh, and you can also create tile sets. We can click and check the recent run. So in this case, we don't have anything, so I'm just going to close it for now. So this is essentially how we can create fabric map. And I trust you enjoyed this video. If you do, please like, share, and let me know your thoughts about this new feature in Fabric. Thank you for watching. Bye for now. Cheers.